Do you want to be financially independent but don't know where to start? These are the 4 steps that I took to start my journey on financial independence. First, let's start out with that wonderful thing called a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. I've not gone to school for this. I've not done any formal education for this. I'm just some guy on YouTube telling you how I manage my own money. So do your own research, consult with professionals if you feel that's necessary, and let's get into it. So I'm here to show you some of the ways to achieve financial independence through some higher risk, more exciting methods than you may be seeing in other places on YouTube and the internet, and, well, your financial advisor especially. Now, before you get into those, you need to have something to start with. You need to start somewhere. You need to have a portfolio. You need to have your budget figured out. You need to be on top of your finances if you're going to do any of these things. And so I want to walk you through the 4 steps that I took that led to me now having a $200,000 stock portfolio and a net worth of about $2.8 million. Step number 1, you need to get on top of your income and expenses. You need to be running your personal finances like a business. You have income, you have expenses, you have assets, and you have liabilities. We will get to assets and liabilities in just a second. But the first thing you need to know is, where is your money coming from? When is it coming in? How much is coming in on your income side? And then you need to know, where is that money going? Why is it going there? And how much is going there? You need to know these 2 things before you can go anywhere. Ideally, you write this down on paper or in a spreadsheet or something like that. I use a tool called YNAB. You need a budget. YNAB.com. I will put a link down in the description where you can get a month free. This was the most critical tool that I had ever set up that led to me actually being able to do things with my money that I wanted to do. And by getting this spreadsheet or this tool set up and knowing where your income is coming from and where your expenses are going, you will know, are you making more money than you are spending, or are you spending more money than you are making? And you need to be making more money than you are spending, or at least breaking even, in order to be able to start to progress towards financial independence. Now, there's a lot of ways to go about this. You can cut some expenses. You'd be surprised what you can cut out when you really look at it. I'm not a big fan of cutting every single thing that makes you happy. Keep the things in there that make you truly happy, but really evaluate the things that do actually make you happy. And then on the other side, there's income. You'd be surprised at ways you can increase your income. There's plenty of great YouTube videos out there on how to increase your income. One of the proven methods that I've used in the past is taking other job interviews. And then you get a job offer and you go to your boss and say, hey, I got a job offer and here's what it is. I've gotten 2 or 3 of my biggest raises going that route. And honestly, if I didn't get the raise, I was just gonna change jobs. That's a great strategy. There's lots more on YouTube. So let's jump on to step number 2. Now, step number 2 is when we look into your liabilities, your credit cards. Well, really all your liabilities. You need to take out that spreadsheet or that piece of paper that you used in the last step, and you need to write down every single liability or debt or loan that you have. Write out what the debt is, what it's for, write out the interest rate and how much is left. Now sort that by your interest rate from highest to lowest, and then ignore everything 5% or lower. Everything 5% or lower, we don't need to worry about. Everything above 5%, we need to get a handle on. There's a bunch of different methods for getting a handle on this debt. I recommend just working your way down the list from highest interest rate to lowest interest rate. This is gonna give you the greatest return on your money over time, but there's lots of other methods that have psychological reasons for doing them. You can also check those out on YouTube. One great method that I leveraged whenever I was getting rid of my $30,000 in credit card debt was I used a debt consolidation loan. Once I had YNAB set up and I could guarantee myself that I wasn't gonna be overspending on my credit card, I was only gonna be spending money that I actually had, then I could go and refinance all of my $30,000 of credit card debt into a lending club loan. That gave me a way to pay that off in consistent, regular monthly payments that was only about a 7% interest rate. If you're interested in going that route, I'll put a link to the video up here about how I sort of analyzed that. It's also got a spreadsheet in there that'll help you do some math. Then there's a link down in the description to sign up for Lending Club if that's interesting to you. The biggest thing that I am going to tell you right now is, do not try and invest any of your money until this is done. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I made when I was going down this path. I just wanted to invest. I wanted to make the money. I wanted to get my portfolio going. But here's the thing. I put money into my Robinhood account. Link in the description, get some free stocks. And it's gonna make 7%, 10%, 15% maybe if we're lucky, right? But my credit card was 22% interest. Paying off my credit card debt with that $100 would have returned 22%. You're not gonna get an investment for that. Take all of that money, put it towards your high interest debt, and then we can talk about investments. Step number 3, pay yourself first. This is ridiculous advice. No, it's very good advice, but it's overpreached, I think. So I have a very complex process for paying myself first, but I highly recommend it to pretty much everyone. Here's what I do. All of my income, whether that's from my day job or contracting or anything, goes into a checking account that I've set up with Ally Bank that I call my inbox. I do not have checks on that account. I do not have a debit card on that account. There is no way to get money out of that account without transferring it to another account. Now, I got far enough ahead that I just store up money in that account throughout the month, and then the first of the next month, I will pay myself into my personal checking account. I transfer $10,600 into my personal checking account, and that's the money that we have to spend on living that month. Everything else gets allocated to investments. Now, you won't be that far ahead at this point in time, so put the money in the inbox, and as it comes in, only transfer what you need to make it to the next paycheck into your personal checking account. Now you know what your expenses should be because of step number 1 or 2. I think it was number 1. Because of step number 1, you know what your expenses should be, so you know exactly how much money you should be allowed to transfer over. Only transfer that amount, leave the rest in your inbox, and we will do something with that very shortly. Anything left in that inbox account at the end of the month, you need to transfer over into a storage account. That storage account could be your investment brokerage if you want to focus entirely on stocks. It could be a high yield savings account. It could be BlockFi, which is a great way to store some money right now using USDC as a crypto. You're earning 8.6%. There's a link down in the description. There's a video up here. That's where my storage account is right now, but a savings account or a stock market account, all of them work. Put the money in there and then we'll do something with it. So step number 4 is setting up M1 Finance. I'm gonna be specific on this. Set up M1 Finance. It is the best brokerage for this strategy here. So M1 Finance has no fees. They are a zero commission broker. They don't charge any monthly fees. Unless you want to set up for the M1 Plus, we will talk about that in just a second. Since this is your first time setting up M1 Finance in a portfolio, I will link down below a portfolio that you can just click on and add to your portfolio. Set it to 100% of your portfolio. It's called the growth pie. M1 Finance is all about pies, and anyways, 100% of your portfolio in the growth pie. It's based on the Yale Investment Endowment Fund, which has historically beat the market. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that, but it should relatively track the market. It's something that I currently run on one of my portfolios. I have a couple of friends that are running that, and I ran it primarily on my main account for a long time until I felt like getting a lot more advanced with this investing thing. And then turn on auto invest. So every time you put money into M1 Finance, it will automatically buy stock based on your allocations in that growth portfolio, and it will just continually keep you diversified and invested in the market. You're taking a small percentage of your income and putting it into the stock market and growing your portfolio. Now, you want to take that small percentage and grow that to a much larger percentage as quickly as you possibly can. I recommend targeting 50%, or for myself, I'm actually targeting 70% of my income is going towards investments of some form. Now, your next steps after this. So 1, let's build up that M1 Finance account till you pass $10,000. You're gonna get access to the M1 Borrow credit line, which is gonna let you borrow up to 35% of your portfolio value at a very low interest rate. You can sign up for M1 Plus, but I recommend not doing that until $20,000 because the cost doesn't make sense until then. And then you'll get a much lower interest rate. That's what I have right now. And with my larger portfolio value, I actually have access to about $55,000 at a 2% interest rate, and it's absolutely amazing for smoothing out cash flow, but we will talk about this in another video. After that, you need to learn about investment vehicles. The stock market isn't the only place to invest. Real estate is not the only place to invest. There are thousands probably of investment vehicles that you can do. You need to get out there, research them, learn about them, play around with it, take $1,000 here and there, and play around with some of these investment vehicles. It might be art, it might be crypto art. It might be real estate, it might be the stock market, it might be day trading, it might be Forex, it could be startups, it could be angel investing. It could be anything. You need to find the thing that really resonates with you, the thing that when you think about it, you just can't stop thinking about it. And that's where you need to invest your time. Now, you may never find anything like that. Not everyone is a finance nerd like me who just fantasizes about making money all the time because they just love it so much. And if that's the case, stick with this strategy of just putting money into the market, M1 finance, maybe get involved in some real estate deals. You could go look at some of the REITs. You could go look at some crowdfunding platforms for real estate if you'd like. I don't have a whole lot of experience in there, but there are a couple of videos that I'll try and leave in the description about this. And you're well on your way to financial independence. Congratulations. Let's get there together. And come back here, check out my videos. I'm gonna talk to you about all the various different ways that you could possibly invest that are exciting and interesting and not boring AF. If you like this video, please share it. I'd really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.